Hey guys, this is a pick dealer. Welcome to my first YouTube video. Today we'll be going over the 2021 mock draft following the finish of the home and away season and into the playoffs. We will not be doing trades this draft just because the order hasn't been solidified, but we will do the playoff teams just based on their seeds. Okay, so picking first, we've got the Jags. The pick's obvious. When he has considered a bad game being 400 yards and 2 touchdowns, this guy is certainly a once-in-a-generational talent. Although I do like Gardner Minshew as a quarterback prospect, I feel like the Jags need to just take Trevor Lawrence, start fresh new head coach, and hopefully Minshew gets picked up by someone, maybe the Steelers or maybe Washington, but probably not. So that's pretty much a certain pick. Okay, now for the Jets. The Jets narrowly missed out on Trevor Lawrence by getting 2 wins late in the season. Look, this is a bit of a mistake. Trevor Lawrence is looking to be a once-in-a-generation quarterback prospect, but nevertheless, the Jets, they've got 2 options here. They can go for Penei Sewell, for the tackle. He's great, generational prospect, but I can't really see that happening, especially with the new head coach coming in to the Jets. Whoever that may be, he will want to start something new. He will want to have a fresh quarterback to give him a reason to stay for the next couple of years and keep him on a contract. So because of this, there's really 2 options between Justin Fields and Zach Wilson. I think after his last couple of performances, Zach Wilson has really been a little bit outshined by Justin Fields, and I feel like he's the way to go. He is looking like a good NFL caliber quarterback who should stay in the league for a long time. As I've said many times before, this draft is very quarterback deep, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they develop in the coming years. Okay, so the Dolphins. This is probably going to be one of the hardest picks in the book. So I have them taking... Actually, no, before I go over what I have them taking, there's really 3 main options here. First, they need a wide receiver, because we see Tua, he's got no options. They've got a subpar skill players class, and picking someone like Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith would really boost their stocks and would give Tua another chance to perform highly next year. They could take Zach Wilson, a QB. This is very controversial as Tua was only drafted last year pretty high, and he hasn't had that much time to prove himself. However, that being said, you should always try and hit the best man for the job. And finally, they could also take an offensive tackle, which will boost their O-line in Penei Sewell quite a bit. So honestly, I reckon the way to go for the Dolphins is to take Jamar Chase. He's looking really good. He's a great player, and I feel like he would add so much to the team. Yeah, now the Falcons. This is going to be one of the toughest picks of today, I think. I feel like the Falcons they're pretty good team. They're playing okay. They are playoffs caliber with the right coach and the right attitude. And I feel like if they just haven't choked so many games, they would be doing so well. That being said, I feel like the Falcons, Matt Ryan is getting old. He's no longer elite Matt, and they're in a lot of cap trouble. So they need to try and let him go and send him away. So I feel like the Falcons should draft Zach Wilson, although he's not those top 2 who have been talking about quite a bit recently. He is still a great prospect and is going to be in the league a long, long time if he's coached well. He's got an elite arm, great accuracy, and he's the way to go. Honestly, I think it's a bit of a steal for the Bengals. It's a bit of a no-brainer. It's getting Penei Sewell. Their O-line is one of the worst in the league, and it'll give Joe Burrow quite a bit of protection as the weeks go on. So, easy pick there. However, which in many mock drafts, I do predict if Penei Sewell does get taken, I'd get the Bengals taking a cornerback, because there's no other really O-line people that are worth getting taken 5th, or trading back with the 49ers so they can get like Trey Lance or whomever they want, because they will most likely pick before against them. Okay, Eagles. There's really 2. I reckon the Eagles are going to draft Caleb Farley. He's a great cornerback coming out of Virginia Tech. He's speedy, and he's going to really boost their defense, because they are really struggling right now. However, in a close behind, I do have them taking Devontae Smith, who is a WR, but I don't really feel comfortable taking him this high, especially with his performance this year. Although he did get the Heisman, he was a pretty half-baked league, and Caleb Fairley is looking like a once-in-a-decade prospect. Okay, the Lions. This is a pretty tricky pick. I feel like because a lot of players are wanting to get their QB, who's insanely good. He's been pretty much just weighed down by the Lions over the last couple of years. I feel like they got to come to terms with that, trade him away, and just pick their quarterback for the future, which would be Trey Lance. He's a great prospect. He's playing extremely well, and I feel like he'd add a lot to the team. Actually, I forgot that Devontae Smith was still on the board. Heisman winner, definitely going. Boost their core, and hopefully they can hold on to him for one more year, and they can get another QB in the next draft, or pick up someone like Gardner Minshew off free agency. Okay, Carolina Panthers. The reign of Teddy Bridgewater is over, and I have them taking Trey Lance out of North Dakota. Teddy hasn't been playing too well. And look, even if Trey Lance sits a year under Teddy waiting for his contract to expire and learns a lot, I feel like this would be great for him and make him quarterback ready when he comes in, rather than being forced into a situation like Tua was. And now for this guy, he's a great player, Patrick Surtain, cornerback. Broncos need some defensive help. And they have to contend with the emergence of the Chargers, the Chiefs in the league, two of the most explosive defenses, and the Raiders, and this will just help them out and give them a chance at getting some wins next year. Patrick Surtain. Okay, now the Cowboys. I have them taking J.C. Horn from South Carolina, the second best cornerback in the league just after Surtain. They're pretty close. He's pretty physical. He's a big guy, 6'1", 205 pounds. He's really good in press coverage, and he's really good at narrowing pass windows for completions to wideouts. Statistically, Dallas pass defense appears average, but in reality, NFL teams have an easier time running against its ineffective rush defense, which they give up about 160 runs per game off the top of my head, and yeah, he will really do something in stopping this. So I got them taking J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. And now the Giants. This is a pretty tough pick for me. The Giants need a lot of help in their edge rushing. They're pretty weak, but they also do need some help in their O-line. But I don't feel like there's just enough O-line talent to justify taking it this high. They always could trade back, but with Kwity Paye still on the board, I feel like that's a bit of a no-brainer pick there. It'll really help out, get some more sacks on the board, and really help out their offense. If they had an earlier pick, I would consider drafting a quarterback like Zach Wilson, or maybe even Trey Lance. But just because those are gone, I don't feel like Kyle Trask or Mac Jones is really justified here, and that Danny Dimes can stay in the league for just another year, and that's why I have them picking Kwity Paye just to help out their edge and hopefully become a little bit of like a Chase Young presence in their lineup. Okay, so now on to the 49ers. I have the 49ers taking Wyatt Davis. He's look, sometimes teams draft based on an area of strength, not weakness, and I feel like this pick here would just boost their excellence on that side of the ball. Like, for example, the Cowboys drafted CeeDee Lamb 17th for Dallas' receiving corps that already produced 300 yards per contest, and I feel like this would premier interior offensive lineman would just boost them even more and help Dak Prescott, or maybe even Andy Dalton, depending on how they go in the free agency, boost up their offense a little bit next year, and maybe even make them a playoffs team. So I've got them taking Wyatt Davis. And following this is the Chargers. So I have the Chargers taking Creed Humphrey, who is a center coming out of Oklahoma. Currently, the Chargers are entering the 2021 season with the league's lowest amount of dead cap space, $58,000. Los Angeles is a frugal organization, and with 5 unrestricted free agency offensive linemen, chances are they'll target one or more in this year's draft. Since signing Los Angeles 4-time Pro Bowl center Mike Pouncey has missed 27 of 48 games and is currently healing from hip surgery. Pouncey is one of the unrestricted free agents Los Angeles may part with, and if so, drafting Humphrey as a replacement is a viable option. Humphrey hasn't allowed a sack in over 370 pass plays during his college career, and I feel like as soon as the great O-line college, and his size and stature will really help out the team. Okay, so following this, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Where is Humphrey? There we are. Okay, so we have the Vikings. The Vikings are actually a pretty decent team. They have a lot of promise, and I feel like just with the right help in the defense, they could make it to the playoffs next year. Definitely be a competitor, but they are in a bit of a tough division. So I have them taking an interior offensive lineman this year, just because they really need that help. And the man for the job is Vera Tucker. He's had a great season last year, and I feel like his addition to the team, although it is a bit of an early pick for him, would be tremendous and help them out quite a bit. A lot of people were saying that they might need a QB, but no, that's no. Kirk Cousins, he's a great quarterback. His lowest record is this year with 7-9, and he's not in a particularly great core. And yeah, he's doing pretty well. And I feel like they should upgrade other positions before they get to him. Okay, so now for pick 15, I have them taking Kyle Pitts. He's a great tight end, and he will really, really help them in the coming years on their offense, which is really lacking in weapons at the moment. They could take Jalen Waddle, but they also need a bit of offensive line, and they don't really know the talent of their quarterback was coming in. And I feel like Kyle Pitts with those sweet routes would really come in handy. And okay, so in the next pick, I've got the Cardinals picking up Micah Parsons. They've got a really strong receiving core, and their defense is just really lacking, leading them to really high score games. And I feel like Micah Parsons this late in the draft is a massive steal, and it's a bit of a no-brainer here. Although they could benefit from a defensive tackle in Christian Barrymore to just help stop the run game a little bit. I have the Raiders taking a defensive lineman in Carlos Basham Jr. The Raiders have really struggled sacking the passer, averaging 22 takedowns over the last years. This league average is 38.5 sacks a season, and LV's lack of pass rushing pressure is a big reason why teams score about 30 points per game against them. They're in a similar situation to the Cardinals. They need this help, and that's why I've got them taking Carlos Basham, which should be somewhere down here. Oh, sorry about that. Here we are. Carlos. Yeah, sorry about that. He is a great edge, great promise coming out of Wake Forest. And for 18th pick, I've got David Collins. Dolphins picking David Collins again. This will really help them a lot. But there also is another option in another offensive lineman which is probably the way to go with Christian Darrisaw still on the table. It's really tight between linebacker and offensive tackle, but I feel like offensive tackle just takes them over, just helps them out of the O-line. It will give Tua a lot more time to find a target, so I've got to draft him. And also picking him at 19th, that's pretty good. And now onto the playoff teams. We got Washington. They are in need of a quarterback, and I feel like Kyle Trask, although he's a bit of a project, would be a great fit on their team with his talent and his athletic ability, and I'd pick him over Mac Jones. I have the Bears picking an interior O-lineman in Josh Myers. Josh Myers coming out of Ohio State, I feel like will really boost their team a little bit. However, that was my initial thoughts in my previous mock drafts. But I feel like Jalen Waddle coming out of Alabama, he's had a tremendous season. He would be a great addition to their team, help them back up some more points on the board. And if the Bears are still running with Mitchell Trubisky, he'll be a great target for him. He's great at getting separation, great at route running. And although he was a bit overshadowed this year, he's still a great pick. Okay, so now with the Jags, I have them taking Jalen Mayfield, who's an offensive tackle out of Michigan. He's a great player, but the issue is they could really benefit from a tight end. However, I don't see any tight ends still in the draft that is worth this high value. They could always trade back with a team, but I just don't really see anybody who'd want to get anybody. Maybe Travis Etienne to the Steelers, who needs some running back help. But yeah, I got them taking Jalen Mayfield, who has proven to be a good prospect, but his footwork and his decision making is a bit off at the moment. But that is also something that a good coaching staff, which may happen with Jaguars, we don't know, would really help. Okay, so the Colts need a quarterback. We don't know if Philip Rivers will be playing next year, if he'll retire or whatnot. Just probably depends on how well they do in the playoffs. I've got them taking Mac Jones out of Alabama. He's a good prospect, and the coaching staff at the Colts are pretty good. They'll teach him, and even he says hopefully he can sit a year under Philip Rivers, learn how to play, learn the system, and then come in firing. Okay, the Browns edge rushing has been pretty awful this year. However, their defense is also pretty lacking, especially to the pass. So I have them taking safety in Trevin Morig. Sorry if I butchered that name. Out of TCU, he looks like a great prospect and definitely vital and will help out the Browns quite a bit. Okay, and now the Tennessee Titans. A lot of teams this year are in need of an edge rusher, and I'm going to see this works, yeah. And that is why Gregory Rousseau coming out of Miami is a great fit. He is playing extremely well. He played extremely well at Miami, and he will just help the Titans pick up their poor defensive line, hopefully get some more sacks, and give Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry a little bit of a break. I have the Bucks selecting Joseph Osai, another edge rusher. He's coming out of Texas. He's a great pick. He's playing extremely well, and once again help the Bucks. But they could also benefit from Rashawn Slater, because especially if Brady's playing next year, when the pressure gets to him, he's not playing very well. But I just don't really see a spot to put him in, especially with their top performing lineup right now. So Joseph Osai, chuck him in, help him get some more sacks this year. I have the Ravens selecting Jeremiah Owusu. He's a great player. He's could really step up in the Ravens defense and just help them lock down the team a bit more, and hopefully his athleticism will also stop the run a little bit and stop a lot of Hail Mary throws, etc. that have been chucked towards them. I have the Jets taking Rashad Bateman just to give whoever they draft, hopefully Justin Fields, a little bit of help in their offense. Now I have the Steelers taking I have the Steelers taking Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. He's insane. He's part of one of the best offenses in the NCAA, and hopefully his skill and athleticism will transfer very well to the NFL. Look, he's no Penei Sewell, but I feel like he'll find a spot on the Steelers, help protect Big Ben if he's still playing next year, or whoever they draft as a quarterback, or whoever they pick up as free agency. And the Saints, the Saints are in need of a quarterback. Don't know if Drew Brees will be held on to next year, but I do have them taking a David Collins linebacker coming out of Collins. And they need a linebacker. Their defense is pretty lacking, and he'll really help make the defense seem more electric and exciting like he has at his college, Tulsa. I've got Buffalo's taking Eric Stokes. He's a cornerback out of Georgia. He's an extremely good player, and I love to see him. If the Bills help out the defense a little bit, which sometimes this year has been lacking, especially during the high stakes game, and we'll see how they go in the playoffs this weekend. But yeah, great pick, especially if their coaching staff who will help them out a lot, will help them out develop them. Like look what they did with Josh Allen. Okay, the Packers team, number 1 seed in their conference. I have them taking Terrence Marshall. He hasn't had the best season this year without the best quarterback, but he has a lot of promise, and I feel like he can really help out their offense, and be a great target to Aaron Rodgers next year. And great pet of Devontae Adams. And now with Kansas City, I have them drafting Travis Etienne out of Clemson. He's a great running back prospect. And that concludes the NFL draft. If you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my picks.